Pambansang loyalista, dito mo makikita. Pambansang loyalista, dito makikita ang totoong balita. 1, 2, 3, Pambansang loyalista, ito ang the best.
Masayang araw po, mga ka-PL. Napanood nyo na ba yung interview kay Attorney Migz Nograles kay Miss Karen Davila? Ha? Kung hindi pa, eto, ipapanood ko po sa inyo para marami na po tayong tatawa, mga ka-PL. Alam ko po, marami dyan sa inyo na panood na ito. Paki-like na lang po ang video. Okay? Pero bago ko po simulan, makikisuyo muna sa mga hindi pa po nakasubscribe. Baka naman. At paki-click na rin ang notification bell para updated sa lahat ng upload. At huwag niyo pong kalimutan, palike na rin po sa video. Maraming salamat. Makikisuyo lang po. O eto na, mga ka-PL. Panoorin na natin ang Lutang 2.0. O ito.
But at the end of the day, whether you like the commentator or not, he is still protected by the Soto law not to reveal a source.
Yes.
With that, do you agree?
Well, lumabas po yun during the hearing, and I do understand the Soto law, but there is an exception in the Soto law that when
Which
it
is
comes
what?
to national security, diba po?
But what makes that national security? I mean, calling out a public
Yes.
official, regardless if it were the speaker or not,
Yes.
on trips spent. And the reason I know this is because radio commentators for mainstream media have done it with past presidents.
Yes.
Hindi naman sila tinatawag sa hearing.
Yes po. I understand that.
Because
So
what
after
makes,
po,
on this particular end, what makes Congress the editorial chief of a free press?
so okay, with that, hindi naman po, sinabi ko naman po rin when I did the sponsorship speech of this is not a oppression of the freedom of the press. No. But kung meron silang mga violations, they have to be accountable for that.
I agree. I absolutely agree. This is not about you.
Yes.
This is really just as a whole.
Yes.
This is as a whole, right?
Mhm.
If the commentator didn't hit on the speaker, would Congress have acted? If he, let's say, hit an opposition person, somebody irrelevant to the supermajority,
Yes.
would Congress have come to the defense of the free
Well,
press?
this
Or
stem
disinformation?
But this stem from various resolutions na po, no?
Yeah, but
And
no,
at
my
the same time,
answer my question.
yes.
Would the supermajority in Congress, as I say, I have no love lost here
Yes,
for
yes.
SMNI, but this is a matter of principle. If
Yes,
it was
po.
not the speaker who was hit, would congressmen have acted in the same manner?
Like I said, so hindi lang po naman yun kasi yung nandun sa resolution po. Meron din pong pagtatama sa may mga ibang resolutions po rin na na-file on this red tagging, on this misinformation.
So
and
let's
all.
talk about red tagging. I'm curious. The irony of this is SMNI's 2019 franchise, but the franchise was renewed in 2019.
Yes po.
Okay. Your brothers sponsored the franchise renewal of
Yes.
SMNI.
Yes.
Right? So we're talking about now Secretary Carlo Nograles when he was in Congress and Jericho Nograles. They sponsored the SMNI renewal.
Yes.
Didn't they spot the violations before they sponsored it?
Well, when you sponsor something and when Congress does something, syempre it's a privilege that's given, right? This has nothing to do with who has authored it. Now it has to do with binigyan kayo ng privilege. You're supposed to be following.
But I agree. I have no debate on that.
Yes.
The issue I'm asking is, I agree with your principles completely. So it leads me to this question. Isn't franchise revocation or renewal really just used at times? It's about who sits in power. Because, I mean, let me move back. I've asked this. ABS situation is different in the sense that the franchise expired. But that was a mainstream media network that it could have been renewed. But the powers that be didn't want. So, ang tanong ko nga ito, if these violations have been going on, weren't these spotted by the very congressmen, two, your brothers, and the other colleagues you work with today?
Yes.
Did they
Well,
spot this? In other
during
words,
that
the
time,
violations were going on, and let's just renew them anyway.
well, I cannot speak on behalf of the past Congress po. What we're looking into now is that there are violations that's happening. And wala po ako magagawa kung sila po di pa nag-sponsor po na to at pinasa po ng past Congress, and I'm not saying anything that mali yung ginawa ng past Congress to do that. It's within their right to pass it. We're looking into what's happening now, and we are seeing violations. So let's not get confused here na iba po yung okay. In the past Congress, this was renewed, yes. But right now, we're looking into violations now because there are violations that we are seeing.
And of the violations, what is the strongest? What is the strongest violation that would merit a revocation? Because to comment on he's wrong. Okay, clearly he was wrong in the facts, but that doesn't alone constitute a revocation because there's so many commentators that are wrong, right?
Yes.
It happens, right? So ang tanong ko, what is the strongest and clearest violation of the franchise?
Well, hindi po nagsisimula ang pag-hear po with regard to the revocation. So, wag natin pangunahan po because that's another hearing. What we did and what we adopted is our resolution to urge NTC because of the violations, the possible violations on their franchise. So, that would be for another hearing naman po on the House bill that was filed on the revocation.
And I think another issue for many people today is you have Congress now fighting against disinformation. But during the past administration, disinformation was actually, it was tolerated.
I can't speak for the past congressman.
So you have the same people angry with disinformation today, but it was used against journalists, opposition lawmakers. This information was used for the past 6 years, was tolerated by Congress.
That's the previous Congress po, Ms. Karen, and I can only say really with regard to the resolution that I felt that we adopted. As per that, I cannot really speak on behalf of the other congressmen and the past Congress po as much as wala po talaga, hindi po ako abogado po nila. And I'm only just one vote in Congress, and simply dito lang po tayo sa resolution ko, you know, even with a heavy heart at taga-Davao din naman po ako na yun yung lumalabas. I cannot be silent naman po kung may nakikita tayo mga violations. Kaya nga po, suspendin po muna natin, which is within the power of NTC. Wala po kami magagawa dyan. As regard to the revocation, we have yet to see what will transpire in the hearings to come regarding that.
All right. On that note, I want to thank you so much for
Thank you so
joining
much,
today.
Ms.
Thank you, and thank you for being a good sport. Thank you. All right.
Thank you po.
Okay, we have Congresswoman Migz Nograles. Thank you.
Oh. Ano yan? Ganda lang, te. Matalino pa yata sa'yo si Mama Linlin eh. Kahit na lutang yon, Kahit pa paano nakakasagot naman. Ha? Kumbaga si Lenlen, mga ka-PL, 80% lutang, pero 20% lang ang walay. Pero si ate, yan, ganda lang. Kung hindi ka sigurado sa interview mo kay Karen Davila na makakasagot ka lang maayos, hindi ka na lang sana nagpa-interview, ate. Hindi mo ba kilala si Karen Davila? Terror yan pagdating sa tanungan. Kumbaga sa profesor, terror na profesor si Karen Davila. Sa susunod, ate, kapag ka merong imbitasyon sa'yo na interview, humingi ka muna ng paunang question. Ayan, para mapapag-aralan mo na, alam mo na isasagot mo. Hindi tulad nito, nagkakakaka ka man, oy. Ganda lang. O ano po masasabi ninyo, mga ka-PL? Kayo naman po ang humusga. Okay, hanggang dito lang. Maraming salamat. Mag-iingat kayo lagi at mahalin natin ang bansa. Be blessed.